Today we're going to make the selection system. We'll start by making our class Madame. The character selection name, B-type GUI control, we'll add a parent as a GUI panel. And we'll make a second class. Character selection window. Also a GUI type. We will add a parent of B window. And we'll open the script. And we'll close up the DOM as we're going to start with the GUIs. In the GUI editor, we're going to create a class. This will be B character selection name. We'll set the size to 210 by 50. And then we'll pick a texture. In the texture viewer, open. Under the GUI listing, we're going to look character selection 1. Okay, then we'll add in our values manually. In the default state, we'll add in 709, 23, and for our size we'll have 300 by 85, and we'll copy and paste these to the hover. The selected state. And the selected hover state. Next, we'll add a label we'll set our name to name. And our doc mode will be fill. We're going to change the font to large. We'll type in name to see how that's looking. Okay, we'll justify it in the center. And then we'll give it a color so it shows up. We'll put red. Then we'll copy that to the hover. We'll set the selected state a little different, making it yellow. And the selected hover will also be yellow. Then we'll save and close this GUI. Next, we'll create the main one, the window. And this will inherit from our B window. And change the class to ours. This will start us with our window, and we'll be able to add to it. We'll set the size for 250 by 350. Make sure our allow move is true, and we're going to change the layer to no layer, blank. We will add a label to our window. This will be called the title. We'll set the dock mode to top. The text will be character selection. The font we will change to large. The justify will be center. We'll change the color to green. And we'll add a drop shadow. Next, we'll add a panel to the main panel here. This will be for our buttons. We're going to dock mode at the bottom with a height of 50. This window will be transparent. Next, we'll add our buttons directly to this panel. Okay, this button will be our login button. Our position will be a little bit down, and the text will say login. Our next button we add will be the create button. Its location will be 130 by 30, and our text will be create. Our next button will be the delete button. It will have a location of 135, and our text will be delete. Our last button will be the exit button. It will be underneath the others, and the text will read exit. Next, we'll add to the main panel a place to put our selected names. This will be a scrollable type called scrollable parent. We'll change our name, scrollable. We'll set inside here is a client area and a scroll bar. The scroll bar will automatically vanish if we don't have enough names to fill it. We'll set our client area to transparent. And hover. Okay, we can save this and close the editor. Okay, back in our script, we have our character selection window methods, and we're going to also open our exit window to grab a few functions. We're going to grab mouse click function, paste that over, and also our class function. We'll change the name of our class to selection. And the name of our class that we're going to get will be B underscore character selection window. And we'll add that to our search and remove the game. In our mouse click, we're going to remove some of these. And what we're going to look for is our character selection name. Okay, first we're going to clear the selected name, and then we're going to set the target selected equal to true. Next, we'll make our function method would be better, our clear selected name. Here we're going to look for the client area. Equals and for each child in client area children, if that child selected equals true, then we have our old name that was selected, and we're going to set the new name by first setting child selected to false. Then break out of here, and then it will set true after that function. Okay, now we can close the exit window. We should be done with that one. We're also going to open a client-side script in the engine. we're going to look for CSS character. This will be the script we're going to pull a few functions from to override in our script. First, we'll grab the open script. Then we'll grab the populate name script method. We'll also get the event raised. And the on button mouse click. We're going to override some of the names in there. We're also going to get the character selection name. We're going to override where it's looking. And we're going to need the delete warning method. In our function open, we're going to change how this is created, and we're going to use rcreate. So we're going to call variable CSS equals our class function we made, get selection class. Then we'll set our CSS equal to create node with our class be selection window. Next, we'll copy out the login button for now. Okay, in our populate names list, we're going to change char create node prototype. It's going to be our B character selection name we made. And we're also going to set a dock mode equal to the top. In our button mouse, we're going to change the names of our buttons that we added in. And we're not going to check for the clean check here. We're also going to add our check for the exit game. And this will be looked at with the base client. And that will be our exit. Next, we'll make our get client area. So we'll copy this one. It will be similar. We're going to make it a method. We're going to pull the client area name. Its class is going to be a GUI control. And it's going to look for me, meaning this class to start with. And then from there it will look for scrollable, client area. It should be our ads here. Oh, one more. We're going to make a method from that. And we should be able to compile. And then submit our script. Okay, we should be able to close our engine script. Next, we're going to look for open another script. It's going to be our system character selection system. This script should be currently blank, and we're going to add a function to it. We're going to do a search, find among all the scripts on the client side. We're going to look for CSS invoke. Okay, the one we're looking for is the method callbacks. That gives us many scripts to override other scripts, many functions. So we're going to copy and paste the invoke into the character selection system. Okay, we close this. Now we're going to add a call to our CSS script. This is going to be a node ref from class GUI control, and that will equal our B character selection window. Class methods, and it will be our open. It's looking for args as a lookup list, and that's what's coming into this one, so we can add this args there. Next, we need to change this return value to true so we don't get any other overrides on this one. We can compile and submit and close out our method callbacks. Now we'll test it to see if it's working. We'll bring up our GUIs, hit escape, and log out to our hopefully new logout window. There's our logout window, 4 buttons, the name of our character inside the window, which is movable, and we'll log back in. The login works. We'll check the other buttons. Our create button should jump to the create section so we can create a new character, call it 2, and we'll set the other character in there. Finished. It should log us into the normal login area where we're just going to bring up our window and log out. So now we have 2 characters and we can select either one. We're going to select 2 and check the delete function. That should now delete. And our last section to check is the exit. That should exit to the screen. That does, so we're going to get back to the game. And log back in, where we should see our new selection window again. Okay, and there's our selection window tutorial.